Hi guys, it's Andrea, and today I have something a little bit different for you. I have a feature called Kiddo's Corner Reviews on my blog, and it's where my 7-year-old son reviews early reader books, early chapter books, books that he reads, books that I read to him, books that we read together, and he just kind of goes over them and tells me what he likes and doesn't like about them and just different things about them. And it's just a fun little feature that we've been doing for over a year now. And when I started this booktube, I thought it would be fun to make videos for Kiddo's Corner Reviews. My son is still a little bit camera shy, but he's really interested in making these videos. And so this is the first Kiddo's Corner Reviews video. But it's also different because today we are participating in the Workman Publishing In the Spirit Halloween blog tour. So we'll be talking about 5 different books from Workman Publishing that they have sent to us. FTC disclaimer, we were sent these books in exchange for our honest review, and we were not compensated in any other way for this review. Before we start talking about these books, I wanted to mention that over on my blog, theoverstuffedbookcase.com, you can find a giveaway for all 5 books that we're going to be reviewing, plus a tote bag, and those will come straight from Workman Publishing, and you can go to my blog. I will leave a link in the description directly to the blog tour post, and in that post you will find the giveaway. So that's pretty cool. You can win all 5 of these books for yourself or for your kids. So these are the 5 books that Workman Publishing sent to us that are part of their In the Spirit Halloween blog tour, and I had my son only review 2 of them, but first I'm going to go over the other 3. So the first one we have is Eek Halloween, and it's by Sandra Boynton, and it is a baby board book, and it is, just for little kids, and it's really cute. It's about some chickens that notice some strange things are happening, and it's basically them just kind of being scared of Halloween, and they don't know what's going on. And it's just a really cute baby board book. As you can tell, my 1.5-year-old already really enjoys this book. It's really cute, definitely for babies, and maybe even early readers. Sometimes when my son was really first learning to read, I had him read some of these really easy baby board books and things just to get used to reading something. But this is just a really cute book for babies that's Halloween themed. The next book is Frightlopedia by Julie Winterbottom, and it's illustrated by Stefano Tambellini. And it's a cute little encyclopedia style book that goes over different kinds of fictional creatures and also real creatures like spiders and killer bees. And it just talks a little bit about all those different creatures and tells about the folklore around them and just different information about all those different creatures. It also has some entries where you can do and make things, like you can turn yourself into a zombie. It tells you how to do that. Or you can give yourself vampire bites or other kind of gashes, maybe for a Halloween costume or something. And then it also has ghost stories that you can share. It also has a fright meter, so it ranks all of the entries scary from 1 to 3. And I found those to be quite subjective because everybody has different fears and everybody has different things that are scarier to them than other things. Like, for example, there's an entry about being buried alive, and it talks about how back 300 years ago that was an actual rational fear because medicine was just not accurate back then, and so people actually were buried alive. And that's not really a fear for a lot of people these days. But my best friend, that's like her number 1 fear, is being buried alive. So for her, it's going to be like a 3 on the fright meter, whereas in this book, it only puts it as a 2. And other people would probably not even be scared of being buried alive at all because it just seems like something that would never happen. So anyway, I think that the fright meter is kind of a good gauge maybe for kids, just to kind of look at and see, well, this might be a little bit too scary for my child, but it really is subjective. Some kids might not be scared by a ghost at all, but other kids might be really scared. So while I appreciate that they had a fright meter in there, I think that it's just really still very subjective. And for me, I didn't really think that this was something that my 7-year-old son could handle. There are some entries in here that are not so bad and that he probably could handle, but he still gets scared of a lot of things, so I really didn't think this was something that he should read. I still really thought this was a really cute book, and I liked some of the entries because I could see myself as a writer kind of getting ideas from some of these different creatures and maybe putting some of these creatures in a book in the future. One other thing that I didn't really love about it is there's a photo credit page on the back that tells you where all the photos are from, but there's no bibliography, there's no reference, there's nothing like that. So some of these things are obviously, they talk about how it's just a theory and it hasn't been proven. But then other things, they throw in little anecdotes, but there's no reference. So you don't know where that story came from. You don't know if it's just an anecdote. You don't know if it's an urban legend. So I really wish they had kind of put in some references for those kind of things. But overall, I thought this was a cute story for kids and maybe a little bit older than my son, maybe 8 or 9, 10, just depending on your child and how much you think they can handle. The third book that I'm going to talk about before I turn it over to my son is Fearsome Creatures of the Lumber Woods by Hal Johnson. In the beginning of this book, they talk about how this is a reimagining or retelling of another book called Fearsome Creatures of the Lumber Woods that was written in the early 1900s. And this is just short stories of different creatures that are supposed to live in these lumber woods of North America. And the author has kind of rewritten all these old stories. I read just a couple of the short stories that are in here, so I'm not going to do a full review, but I think it's a cute story if you have kids who like kind of spooky stories. This is one of those kind of books where they pretend that everything that's going on is totally true, even though you know that these are short stories and they're just made up. This is not one that says, oh, this is just a story, or this is just a fairy tale or a folk tale or an urban legend. They pretend as if these actually are true, which is cute if you have older kids who understand that no, these creatures aren't real. But I do think that if you have a slightly older child who enjoys creepy stories, that they might really like these. And the other 2 books, I'm going to go ahead and let the kiddo talk about, so take it away.
Hey guys, this is Kiddo's Corner Reviews, and today we're going to review Paper Toy Robots and Oh Ick.
There you go. Did you hear that?
Sounds like a duck.
Here's the paper toy robots that we made, and this one right here was really easy to make, but this one I really want to make is pretty hard. And you really need to use regular glue because the glue stick doesn't work. It'll just fall apart. But we use tape, so it still kind of falls apart. So there are lots of cool paper toy robots to make, and they glow in the dark if you put the glow-in-the-dark stickers on it, like the last step. Some of them are hard, and some of them you need parents' help because they're really hard. It's really fun making his kazoo and the bubbles, but it's kind of hard on the kazoos because you had to blow really hard on it. So it's kind of hard to make the thing, but the bubbles are really easy to make. They're really gross, but they're actually kind of sometimes easy, but some are not that gross. But it really makes sense that it's called Oh Ick, and they made gross stuff in it. So you need your parents for a lot of these experiments because they're really hard to make. Well, the paper toy robots were really easy to make, so I kind of like those ones best, and I really like robots, so I thought that was the perfect book. And we didn't do the other books because it was a little bit too scary. So, and Oh Ick was really fun to make too, but I think Paper Toy Globots was my favorite, even though it's pretty hard to make. I give Paper Toy Globots 5 stars because it's a really good book, and I recommend it. I like Oh Ick too, but I would say 3 stars. Bye! Please subscribe to the channel, and please subscribe to the Overstuffed Book Guys.